Hey guys, girls, Rusty here. I made some decisions on what to do with my vehicles moving forward, and also so that I can show the same vehicles more often. I'm going to be downsizing, so I'll run you through that. All right, we're going to be keeping the F350. No major problems there. No reason to get rid of it. Need some, exhaust work. Probably should fix that pipe a little better on the muffler as well, but I got like exhaust manifold leaks. So that's about it with that one. I mean, I could do some body work and that sort of thing, but we got to fix the biggest problems first with all these other vehicles. The C10, I want to get back to it. I tested on my F-150 one of those in-dash Bluetooth navigation devices, and I think I'll get a little bit larger one. I need to make some interior for this, and I got a lot of body work to do as well. So I got to plug up these holes in the interior, with something other than a glove, and then I can start working on putting a new interior in it, and then we can do some body work on the outside and keep moving on that. The old F-150, she's doing all right, but it needs gas tank work. It has had bad gas tank issues the whole time I've owned it, and so I'm going to remove that toolbox and put the spare tire off to the side, and I'm going to install a gas tank in the bed just like I did on the C10. I mean, knock on old steel, I haven't had any issues. New fuel tank, new lines, go figure, right? So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish with this F-150. And then we'll see what comes next. The Mazda, I think it blew the head gasket again, but it wasn't the head gasket's fault. The heater core ruptured when I was driving on the highway going to work, enjoying my little car, and it overheated. So I mean, what do you want? It still runs, but it feels like a head gasket to me. The old Camaro's still on the trailer. I haven't pulled it off to determine what happened. This one definitely overheated driving down the highway, and it didn't blow any water out of it the second time. So I don't know why it was overheating, but like I guessed on my short, it might have had low oil pressure all along and I never knew it. Either way, if the motor has to come out of this car, I'm going to pull the motor and transmission, and I'm going to sell this as a roller with a good title. I'm done playing around with this one. It's turning into a real lemon. Spent more time parked than driving. If the Mazda has something worse than just that blown head gasket, I got the parts for that. I got the head gasket in already. If it has something worse wrong with it than a blown head gasket, this car is going to go too. I mean, we don't have time to be fooling around with a bunch of vehicles that are broken. I can make plenty of content with my 3 trucks and actually get these babies in a lot better shape. And you know what? These trucks are easier to work on. 3 amigos. Anyways, finally we got this motorcycle. Haven't really featured it on the channel, but I got it cheap. It runs and drives, but the clutch was slipping a little bit. I figured, well, I gotta change clutch. Yeah, it's got bigger problems. I bought a clutch from Amazon off of a different model trying to fix some issues, and that didn't really solve the issues either. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at it in a couple of days and maybe I can get it sorted out. And if not, I mean, I'm probably just gonna put it on Marketplace for parts. I hate to do it, but I got a lot of competing priorities right now. And so, we got to downsize a little bit. I'll be moving out of here in about 1.5 years at most. And I'm going to be putting some stuff in storage and taking some things with me. And when I do that, I can't be keeping all these vehicles. So the motorcycle might go. It doesn't take up much space, but if it doesn't run, what's the point, right? So maybe some motorcycle mechanic can fix it if I can't get her going. But I haven't given up yet. I just took a break as you can see, I left the mess and didn't do anything. Anyways, this is kind of a precursor. I did take a bit of time off making long form videos, but I have a lot of footage. So I'm going to show you like changing out the radiator hose and putting a thermostat in the 305 in the Camaro, and then subsequently now it blew out the engine or overheated or whatever you want to call it. And so I don't know about that thing. And I got some other stuff that I did, changing headlights on some trucks and minor stuff, the tie rod on the C10. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that in. It might be a little bit longer video of a couple of different projects. And then after that, we're going to get focused mainly on the trucks, I think, in the foreseeable future. Hey guys, you know what time it is. It's time to get that new window sticker. It's a pretty big occasion for anybody that's ever taken one of these old vehicles that's been sitting for years and try to get her going. So we're gonna go ahead and get that on. Then I'm gonna go for a little test drive, and then I'm gonna come back and fix this wiring down here so my fuel gauge will work again. I'm assuming that's the problem. And then I'm gonna tighten up these brackets. That way, you know, my power steering and all that doesn't just fall off. And I got a new power steering pump, but I don't plan on installing it today. The other thing I want to do is put that new switch in for the lights. So we're just gonna be doing some wiring and some driving. So I'm gonna get to it. All right, it has been several days since I started this thing. So, first we're gonna check the fluids out. She's full of water, okay. Let's see. Doesn't appear to be leaking, excellent. Oh yeah, the oil's on the opposite side on this 305. Full of oil. Okay. Let's see what happens. Also got to fix this ignition switch, for God's sakes. So I got 3 things to do. Ignition switch, fuel pump, ignition switch, fuel sending unit, and wiring up the switch for these headlights and stuff. All right. We got fuel pressure. We got accelerator pump. Not have a cold start. There we go. Well, that ain't too bad for a cold start, really. Once it started, we're gonna get her going. So the car's running a little bit smoother now, and I've worked a bunch of gas through there, so I'm gonna advance the timing just a little bit. It was a little bit harder to start at the gas station. And take down that idle just a tad. We'll see how it restarts after a couple of minutes. or not, it's idling like that with the screw all the way out. It's pretty amazing. We'll see how the immediate restart does, and then we'll wait about 5 or 10 minutes and try the heat soak restart. She probably still wants a little bit more timing, it seems, but let's give it part throttle. No. I don't want to go too far on the timing just yet, so I'll let it go ahead and heat soak, and then I'll come back and see what happens. I'm gonna change my pants too, so I can get down and dirty. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna go ahead and see what's the deal. Is she gonna just start right up or not? I figure I waited about 15 minutes. It's probably still gonna crank slow, which means maybe I backed off on that throttle too far. I need to crack it just a little bit, but we'll see. So I'm just gonna crack it just a little bit and see what happens. Just to get the process going, you know, build up some vacuum, etc. Almost. Let's see. Come on now. Okay. I just reached down and turned the engine a little bit. That's better. I gave it just a little bit more timing. Give it just a little more timing. Let's see. Yeah, that still makes no difference. There we go. All right. Let's see now. Leave it there for now. Now I put these two switches in. One runs the high beams and one runs the running lights and the low beams. So this switch doesn't work anymore. We're gonna take that off and see what happens. This one still works just fine. It's turned a little sideways, but we'll see what's going on in here, and I'm gonna get the necessary tools and we'll get started. All right, I got this switch. I don't really care for this giant toggle switch, but that's what they had at the store with the amperage rating, you know, 35 amps. So I guess that's what we're using today. If it fails, we'll get a better one next time. Anyways, Maybe I should put one of these little boots on this one too, right? Because, you know, why not? Make it look a little jazzier. All right. Let's go ahead. I got me a little toolkit here, you know, to work with my DeWalt. And let's see what little Torx head this is. Looks like this one. Too big. Let's try this one. Just right. Oh, hell yeah. The little bit that came with it's even magnetic. There we go. Now I'm gonna start these by hand. I ain't no fool. I'm not trying to strip everything out. Wow, that one's longer. Okay. Longer one on the left side. Let's see if that's... No, that one looks like it ain't doing anything. We got a long one and one that's not doing anything. Okay, that's weird. Maybe because it should have been the long one on the left side on that one too. That's what I'm gonna guess. Try that when I put it back together. Damn it. Damn it. Alright, we're not gonna try to put them on the dash. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Why did that stop working? I think the switch, oh, this thing jammed into here and freaking probably burned some wire somewhere. Well, no wonder my batteries were dying. Okay. Gotta get that off. And then I gotta find out where things went wrong. Is this gonna be right? Yeah, right enough. Yeah, it totally melted together. Wonder who installed this. Okay. This and this. I see it down there. Can my magnet grab it? It can, because it's not real brass. It's just brass colored. But the magnet's having a hard time. Maybe it's partially brass. Maybe it's not brass colored. Maybe it's a brass coating. There we go. Well, by all accounts, yep, it's working. Okay, that still works. So it just burned up the switch and that was it. Can we get this off my hand? Yeah, we can. This one looks fine. I don't know what I was doing there. It probably got hot and then worked its way down. That's what I'm gonna go with. You know, to save face. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just taking the switch out. I'm gonna put that monster toggle switch in there. Looks a little bit dorky, but do what you gotta do. See this one? She blew it up. All right. Actually gotta take this part off. Comes pre-installed, but you need to take it off in order to install it here. Yeah, big old aircraft aluminum. Yeah, right. At least it's the same size hole, right? And that's all I really care about. There we go. Put that on. And we'll technically be 100% legal at this point once this works. Meaning all the headlights and turn signals and running lights are going to work. Then all we need is that fuel gauge. And then sometime in the near future, if it isn't too much trouble, I would like to go ahead and get a power steering working. Okay. You know, is that too much to ask? Aim this down just a little bit so you can watch me struggle. Come on. That's a 1. Yeah, I didn't think that through too well. Let's put that wiring on first next time. I'm gonna go real nice and easy on this. Not like the guy at the tire shop. At the tire shop, they just rip your lug nuts out of as much power as it's got and cross thread it and tell you, hey, it came that way. Yeah, right, brother. That's why I don't take my tires at the tire shop anymore. Not on the car, anyways. That's probably it. Yep, I can see them working in the garage. All right. See, I think what happened was when I pushed it up in the hole here, it turned one towards the other. And I think that's probably just exactly what happened. Didn't take enough care on the install. Yeah, that's it. Switch my bit back out. Reinstall this. And then show you how good of a job I did. Aren't you proud? Okay, it was longer on the left, right? Huh. Oh, there's nothing to hit. Well, on this side there is. I see what you're working with. There's literally nothing there, and it doesn't look like there ever was. Crazy. GM. There I go. Wanted to keep my bit too. Try and line it up. There we go. Now we got the torque turned down on this baby. We ain't trying to break nothing. I don't think that does anything. It's just these corner ones. Okay, seems to be functioning. Well, I guess I really could just stick the screw in here. Why not? Even though it does nothing. Okay, I'll show you what's happening. That was as expected. Okay, so first of all, when we turn on high beams, the high beam indicator turns on. See it there by the speedometer? Nice, right? Okay. So we got no marker light, right? No headlights. Those tail lights are gonna be hard to see out here in the sun, so you're just gonna have to believe me. So we're gonna turn on the normal lights. Can't see it, but you can see that one. One headlight, one turn signal, one headlight. That one's working. This one might be a bad ground, might be a bad bulb. Hard to say. Let me wiggle around on it. Okay, that's all the time I'm spending on that. You can maybe make out the tail light working just a little bit. Got the license plate lights working. Another tail light. Okay, so we got one bulb down. Not too bad. Now we're gonna hit the high beams. And all that's gonna do is give us all 4 headlights. There they are. Okay, now let's go ahead and start it up with the headlights off, because I don't know how much battery I drain. But also, that's gonna check the time of the heat soak time, right? Because we just checked it. Yeah, baby, that's better. Okay, we'll call that a success. Next, I'm going to go ahead and fix this wiring in the back. Not much to see here, just some broken wires. I don't know which one's which, but this kind of looks important. Pretty sure that's the one that goes to the fuel tank. And I'm pretty sure it came from here somewhere. So, yeah, I can kind of see it. So I'm going to fix that. But I'll show you right now. I did fill the fuel tank up at the gas station. When I turn the key, that should jump on up, right? Or actually, it's like maxed out, but it should like go to 16. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna do that off camera. I'll bring you back when I got some success to show you. If I did this right, and I'll show you down below. Oh, I'm getting a bit of a glare. Here we go. Should be able to see the fuel gauge move. Yeah, she's moving down. There you go. It was much higher, but I tested it before. Anyways, that fuel gauge is reading about 14 gallons, which sounds about right. Here's what I got going on. Got my test lead there, which is what I was using to start the car, so I guess I gotta go ahead and fix it. And also, I was shocking myself here, getting in and out of the car. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's just static electricity. 12 volt couldn't be making enough power to do all that. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and button that wiring up, and then we'll move on to fixing this ignition, because it doesn't move far enough, and I think it just came out of that little slider. And then that'll be pretty good for today. All right, guys, I got to looking underneath that steering column. It was a total mess, so I said, to hell with that. So you're gonna turn the key and then you're just gonna press this button. I'm gonna fix this up under the dash later, but for right now, you can see it runs the crank. I don't have the key in the ignition right now, so it wasn't gonna start. But you get the idea. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe. I'm gonna wear these bad boys and go for a drive because there's gonna be a lot of dust floating around in here, and I don't want to get it in my eyes. And you know, go get this thing vacuumed out, cleaned up, and we'll be driving it around the house more and more until I feel comfortable that it can make it to work. So anyways, see you on the next one. Hey guys and girls, Rusty here. I was test driving, so to speak, my Camaro, drove it to work. On the way back, I blew out the lower radiator hose, so I had to go pick up my car. Much to the disappointment of the people on my shorts comments on YouTube. The engine and the transmission and etc. is not ruined, and I will not be selling it. So sorry about that. Here's the car. Now, something that did happen when I was unloading the car. Hey, this trailer's been in poor shape for a while. Yeah, we didn't catch the exhaust on the trailer though. You can't actually see any kind of shiny metal there, which is great, because I didn't want to take off my custom side pipes. I did have another radiator hose, but it's not quite right. I don't know if you can see it down there, but it rubs against the idler arm, so that's definitely not going to work. I'm going to have to order a new one, but I am going to fire the car up and move it back down the hill so I can work on it near the garage. Fun fact, you have to take the radiator shroud out of the way to change that hose. What a pain. Anyways, the engine's still good at least. That's the main thing. Let's see how hard it's going to be to fire it up. I didn't see any water in the oil or anything that could happen from like cracking a head or blowing a head gasket from overheating. So I think we dodged a bullet there. I actually seen it blow the hose. I mean, I seen the evidence of it. I couldn't see the hose obviously, but I saw a puff of, you know, steam, and so I shut it down about 30 seconds later, which was good enough, I believe. One pump of gas. Oops. Come on. All right. That alternator is charging. I wonder if that shows up good on the camera or not. Dang it. She's a little bit cold nature. I do have the timing advanced as much as I can get away with. There we go. Get my drink. Let me go ahead and show you what that other radiator hose looks like though. Pretty dramatic blowout. Got it here. There we go. Check that out. Hose clamp's still attached. But yeah, she blew out. This one doesn't appear to have been rubbing on the pitman arm, so I'm going to save this when I'm going to go to AutoZone later and order a new one. If they happen to have one in stock, I highly doubt it. I'll compare it. So, you know, always save your old parts. When that car sounds like it's probably warmed up enough to attempt to move it, that's what we're doing. Ah, the door's locked. What the heck? Who would do that? Still haven't fixed my power steering. 2 hands. There we go. We're gonna run that tire right there onto that landscape timber. That way all the stress is not sitting on the transmission of holding the car in place. Oh, there we go. Hey guys and girls, the radiator hose came and I got that here in my F-150, which is giving me some kind of problem. So I'm going to have to look at that next. Oh, what the heck? I got it in the car actually, it seems. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this baby installed before the end of this video, but you know, we got the exact right one here. Got some new hose clamps, you know the deal. See, anyways, hopefully this one fits correctly when we get to it. But before all of that, I got some new headlights for my C10. Some LEDs. I put some LEDs on my F-150 and they're great. And so, I'm gonna install these bad boys. But first, I gotta get the old before so you can enjoy the after, right? So we gotta wait for the sun to go down. But there's the C10. Mazda had a breakdown. The heater core left the chat, so the car overheated. I hope I don't have to do that head gasket again, but I'm pretty sure I do. So I already ordered it on AutoZone. The reason I say I'm pretty sure is because there's steam coming out the exhaust pipe and is running rough after you know, the heater core started leaking while I was driving down the highway. So anyways, we'll wait till it gets a little darker so I can get the before, and then I'll come back, change the headlights, and then we'll get the after shot, and we'll decide if it was an improvement or not. I'm pretty sure it will be, so just stand by for that. I'm gonna wait for it to get dark. Yeah, just to give you a little shot of what it looked like from outside the vehicle. Now we'll show you what it looks like from inside the vehicle. We'll go for a little drive, but here we go. It's the high beams, low beam, high beam. All right, I'll get you set up for when I'm driving next. All right, I'm gonna get these lights changed out real quick, and it's not very difficult. You can see there's a couple of screws. You just take off, you remove that, and then the light kind of just ejects itself. I mean, it's not that simple, but it's pretty much that simple, you know, just a couple more screws. So I'm gonna get these changed real quick. I parked in generally the same place, And I got a couple of screwdrivers over here, but I'm going to turn on some lights and do this real quick, and then we'll once again see what it looks like from that same distance, and then we'll go on another test drive. All right, one quick thing I did notice, you see the shoulder here? Let's see if I can get the lighting right. There's like a shoulder right here that the little chrome ring rests on, and on this light bulb it's like on the face of the light bulb. And so I got one on already. So what that ends up doing is this light bulb ends up sticking out a little further than this one. So at the bottom it's sticking out, but at the top it's not, right? On this one it's sticking out at the top. So anyways, just one little quirk, not a big deal. We're gonna keep moving forward, and then I'll give you the old test, same as before. From this position. Okay, I got the old lights installed. Let me see. Yeah, basically the same view. So I'm gonna go over there and turn them on, and then we'll go for the test drive, and then we'll get back to the Camaro tomorrow morning. Okay, I don't know how well the GoPro is picking that up, but it's brighter than before. I'm gonna go ahead and get my camera set up. Inside the truck here. And then we can get going on a little test drive. So that's the high beams and the lows. The highs are significantly high. I might have to adjust these headlights. We'll see. I'll bring you back when we're on the road. I don't know how well this is showing up, but this is the low beams and they're aimed way too high. So what I need to do is I need to adjust these lights down. And so I'm gonna kind of guesstimate on it. And then later I'll drive it to a building and level them out. So you just pull up next to a building and then you can see the beam on the wall, and then you level it out. But right now they're aimed way too high, so I'm going to bring that line down to the ground, kind of a distinct line from the light. That way I can actually see the road better. Alright, in case you guys didn't know, that really rusty looking screw right there, that's the adjuster for up and down. And that rusty looking bad boy right there is the inboard outboard. We're not going to mess with the inboard outboard right now. We're just going to lower these babies so they're not shooting up into the sky. And I'll bring you back and show you how that's going. I got to turn the lights on and etc. I don't have that many hands. Maybe I can do it. Just going to turn on the low beams. I'm reading 12.8 on the battery, so I think we got some battery to spare. The engine's hot already. You see that line out there? We need to bring that down out of the treetops. We need to actually get some ground cover. So hopefully we can just turn that screw. Oh yeah, it's coming down. All I'm doing is backing that screw out. And now you can see the light came down to the more usable ground level. Now this other one's still up in the air. Let's hope that that one's not frozen or stuck. Okay, now we're just going to try to even it out, and then I'll drive to the gas station, park next to the wall, and then just even them out properly. That's probably pretty good. Now I'm seeing the road anyways, right? Good thing about LEDs, they don't draw as much. We're only down to 12.5. So let's go ahead and hit the brights. I could probably stand to go a little bit lower still, but I don't want to go too low. Oh, my screwdriver fell out of the hole. I think that's pretty good. There is this shaded area, right, directly in front of me, which I don't like. But it is not picking up. I don't think I can back that screw out of there too much more than that. We're just gonna even these babies out. Oh, that one jumped on me. I don't want them falling out now. There's a spring in there, you know, that holds some tension. I think we got to go up a little higher. Damn flat tip screwdriver. That's why Phillips is the best. More points of contact. Yeah, I'm thinking that's pretty good. It's not right in the face of somebody. This one's way low, see? So we're gonna bring that one back up. Bring this one back down. This one seems to be aiming that way, right? But pretty good. Alright, down to 12.4. Go ahead and hit the high beams. All right, let's start her up. Let's see. Got the old alternator charging. Coming on up. The old amp meter. Wow, can't even see that on the camera. Either way, I think we're good. Alright, here we are back at the Camaro. Just a refresher, you can see that radiator hose is, you know, coming in contact with the steering components. So, gonna remove that real quick, get the other one on, and then fill it up with water, and hopefully that's the only issue here, is just put it back together. We'll see. Alright, just got this hose off. And this is the one I put on there, just a random GM lower. You can see the difference in the bends. This is like the Timu version. Almost right. This is probably going to be right. Let's put her on. Alright, I hope you can see it. It just barely clears everything. But it does clear. Doesn't hit the frame, doesn't hit any of the steering components. So we're gonna fill it up with water and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna fire this baby up. Hope for the best. I just want to check and see that water circulates in this bad boy. Gotta fill it up, you know the deal. I'll put some antifreeze in it later, but I don't have any. Oh, I can see the water already. I hope you can see that. Must not have a thermostat in this bad boy. Wasn't really sure about that. Look at that pulley vibrating around. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but I'm gonna check those bolts, make sure they're tight. Probably need to get a thermostat and install it. Yeah, but at least we know the water pump's working, right? So yeah, probably gonna order a Chevrolet thermostat. No big deal, go buy the auto parts. So that's probably going to do it for this video. I'm going to test drive it. I got to get some parts for that motorcycle. And I'm not going to quite put this back together until I'm sure. I don't think anything will hit. And maybe I should put it on. That's super close on that AC line. I could zip tie it though. Nah, I think I'll put it back together properly. Otherwise, I'm going to get stranded again, right? The water is definitely flowing. Alright, I'll bring you back if there's any issues. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Got back from my test drive. Now, I didn't go ahead and put that shroud on. I did zip tie stuff out of the way so it wouldn't hit. So let me get this comes your gun. See what we're reading at the thermostat housing. He's running hot, and that's because there's no thermostat. So I did buy a thermostat, and I'm going to install that. I gotta let this baby cool down though. I'm hoping it'll start to cool down just sitting here. Some of that might be engine heat, but I'm thinking she needs to chill out. Anyways, I'm thinking once I get that thermostat installed, we're not gonna have that issue, but I have to shut the engine down and let it cool down. So we'll see what happens afterwards. I'll go on a test drive later tonight. Okay, I got this baby cracked loose. It's got Allen bolts on it for some reason. But it's probably what came in the kit, and it fits the housing, so I'm going to take this off. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a thermostat, and that's probably, yep, no thermostat. I'm just going to put that to the side right there. It takes a little gasket. It wasn't leaking, so I'm going to continue with that. I'm just going to drop the thermostat in and put it back together. Now I'm from Texas, and you know it's hot more of the year than it is cold. So what we got here is 160 degree thermostat. I wanted to see if it would open up. Maybe if I put it in this way. Guess that water is not quite hot enough. Anyhow, let's make sure everything's gonna fit. It certainly looks like it will. Go ahead and install this, and I'll bring you back when I'm testing it. Now, it did open just a little bit. I want to see if it's going to close. Yeah, she closed up. All right. So that thermostat works. So all we need to do is just put it back together. And then, ah, damn, drop my bolts. And then hope it doesn't leak. Let me take that bolt out of the way before I drop it too. I shouldn't have pulled this O-ring out of here in hindsight, but you know, mistakes were made. Terrible. Why did I do that? What a knucklehead move. Now this O-ring's not going to want to stay in there. Damn it. Alright, gonna fix that, get it reinstalled, and then we'll call it good and we'll test it. The old grease trick to hold it, put some grease on it. But my hands were greasy and I couldn't get to the camera, so I didn't get to show you that. But you just put some grease on the gasket and it makes it stick, and then hopefully it will seal and we will be good to go, and we'll be able to fill this baby up and it won't leak. probably good. We don't want to over tighten it. I got all this monster torque here. Alright. I already broke some bolts on the motorcycle, so I got to make another trip. Okay. Didn't lose too much water, but gonna top it off with some antifreeze. Concentrate, of course. Why would I pay for half water? Ask yourself that question. This one's too narrow. This one might even make a seal on that filler neck. I think I cut it, so yeah, it does. I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, you check it out. You tell me what you think. Can you see the level of the fluid? Higher than the engine radiator hose. There we go. We can start it up, and it's going to hopefully get the air bubbles out. We'll see what happens. Maybe the key's still in ignition. Let's see. It is not. Where did I put it? In my pocket. What a safe place for that. Suck that water down immediately. Or I should say coolant. We'll see if it bleeds off those air bubbles. I know that thermostat's going to be open because it was opening before. So now we're going to have to wait, pressurize the system, and then check for leaks. I'll bring you back if there's anything else, but I think that's probably going to be it. I got to go get some bolts for the motorcycle. I'm not really featuring this on the show, but I switched over from to this regular style clutch with springs from this like two-piece style, which, you know, it's got all this extra pieces. It's a little bit goofy, and it was hard to get a good clutch attachment, but this is an 86 and I'm putting an 87 clutch in there. But these little 10mm bolts, they couldn't take the torque spec. We're trying to break while I was tightening it down, so I got to go get some new ones. These are used bolts. Let's check this again, and then I'm gonna publish this video the way it is. Oh yeah, I think she's done. Oh no, there's some air bubbles. Okay, okay. Thermostat probably opened completely at this point. Anyways, you see how it works. See you on the next one. Hey guys and girls, Rusty here. Well, the Mazda, probably a blown head gasket again. The Camaro, maybe a full-on blown up motor after overheating that thing on the highway. She's up here on the trailer. Haven't even removed it, haven't even decided to look at it close enough to be sure, but he definitely overheated a second time. So these cars have made it pretty easy for me to decide which vehicles to get rid of. The ones I keep working on and keep breaking, and I can't move on to improving their quality because I'm barely keeping up. It's not the ones for me. Meanwhile, this truck, it's had a tired engine for a while, but we're gonna keep running it because it's not getting any worse. it doesn't overheat, and the money that I spend on it, I think, is actually improving it. So I'm gonna get back to working on the truck here. I did get the new LEDs on it, right? And they work pretty good. I probably want to put some fog lights. There were fog lights on this thing before in the bumper. But today I'm gonna get this tire off, and I'm gonna change these tie rods, for lack of a better word. The ones for the actual drag link for the steering, they're tight, but these are loose. I don't have my gloves on, or I'd jiggle it around for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this tire off, get it jacked up, get the tire off, pull that off. AutoZone called me and said my parts are in already, so that's why I'm getting started. And I have a lot of video of working on that Camaro and some about the Mazda, but I think I'm not going to waste too much time making long videos to upload. I'm just gonna make a real quick one about, you know, how my car broke down again, and I don't know, might be the end. But we're gonna get started on this. Just getting her all set up here. This should be a relatively quick process, but you never know. Need a bit of an extension on it. A little bit too short hitting my impact. I'll bring the extension to put them back on. Doesn't look like the brakes wearing too crazy, so that's good. Yeah, no problems there. You know, manual brakes only right now. So, oh yeah, that baby is not supposed to be that easy. I'll bring you in and show you. This baby is super loose. Shouldn't be that easy. Now, it seemed like there could be some slack on this pitman arm, but we'll check that once we get this off. But for right now, we got to get this baby removed. Should just have a couple of pins and then the big sockets and wrenches. Alright, let me see if I can get these pins loose. And I brought a bunch of sockets because I don't know what size these are. Let's go with the top one first. It's not as disgustingly dirty up here. Dang, that sucker was barely in there. Okay, makes the removal easy, but also is a little bit concerning. That pin is, I need to get a new pin at AutoZone. What size socket is this? Dang, got her on the first try. I brought all these as backup. So, let's get that one loosened up. Done. Oh, that grease is holding that nut in there. So I'll just twist it back on a couple threads. My socket's cracked. It was probably like that before. 15/16. Got a big crack in it, but we'll use it anyways. It's probably the right size for this one. Then we'll have to get a new one of those. Yeah, okay. All right, got the next pin out. We'll get that nut off and hey, we're almost done. Couldn't complain about that. Shot grease and oil or whatever right in my face. And the camera's too far away, so you didn't get the money shot. Which one of these is the right one? Let's start with the big one. Yeah, maybe. Got her. All right, next up. Yeah. Push it that way. Got him. You know, you gotta save these nuts. They might not even come with the nut at AutoZone. Things are getting really cheap these days. There we go. Yeah, all right. That's the part. And the nice thing is on this one, it doesn't mess up my alignment. It's a little bit loose right there. I wonder if I can't just tighten these nuts up. Do that right now. Because I think that's some of my looseness in my steering. Okay. So I need a 7/8 wrench. Tighten up that fitment arm. Any little bit of looseness in your steering and it could be amplified by your steering wheel because of the leverage, right? Turn this to tightening. The angles are not good. I could turn the steering wheel, right? There we go. I'm gonna recenter the steering wheel anyways because it was never quite right. Seemed like it could turn sharper to the left than the right. Oh. It's 7/8 on one side and a size smaller on the other side. So 11/16 maybe? Let me see. Maybe 13/16. I got the 13/16 because that's one size smaller than 7/8. And I got the 3/4 or 12/16. That's the next one. But probably just this one. Yeah, that's the one. All right, let's just rip her on there real good. Oh yeah, fix that problem. That might have came off while I was driving. I don't know how straight the wheel actually is. When I drove in here, it looks like I'm turned to the left a little bit. But anyways, to get us close, I'm just gonna turn the steering wheel all the way to the left and count the number of turns to go to the right, right? So that's all the way to the left. Right, and it's down at this angle. So we got a half, one turn, a half, two turns, a half, three turns, a half, four turns, and a quarter, right? So here I should be able to go back two turns, half, one, half, one, and the wheel should be turned a little to the left. Yeah, that's pretty straight right there. It should be turned a little to the left because this wheel is turned a little to the left. So we'll go with that, and then I can adjust this coupler to adjust my steering so I'm going my steering wheel straight when I'm driving straight. Anyways, I got this off. I'm gonna be able to drive to AutoZone and get the new part. So I'll join you back, especially, hopefully, if the new part's the right part. If not, then I won't be back until tomorrow or the next day. Before leaving for the zone, I actually went ahead and took it all apart. That way I can test the threads on this coupler. Otherwise, you know, I might get some of that grade A Chinesium where it looks right, but you start to thread it in and it's wrong. So this way we should be satisfied. And then coupled with the fact that I tightened up that, I believe this is called the Pitman arm. I'm no expert, but I mean, I tightened it up. So hopefully my steering's gonna be nice and tight now. I've replaced a lot of things on this truck, and I want to keep replacing things that make a difference, right? Like this shimmy damper and these shocks. These shocks have been great, actually, and I don't even have them turned up all the way. So hey, I'll be back with the parts. Hopefully we'll get this baby installed. Guys, I'm back. It's another day, but you know how it goes. So I went to AutoZone and these parts appear to be the right parts. So I kind of you know, mocked it up here so I can see if that's gonna work, and I think that it will. So we're gonna go ahead and get this baby installed. I'll put it on a time lapse for you so it'll go nice and quick. All right, we got it in. Got the Zert fittings on, right? Got that tightened up. Got the cotter pins in. I know it looks goofy, but you know, it did what it did. So I don't know where my grease gun is, but I'm gonna grease this baby up and test drive it. But gotta go eat some lunch, so I'll be back when I'm back. And also, it kind of looks like it might rain. So if that happens, then I won't get back to it, but I'm gonna put my tools up just in case. And loosen this coupler back up because I want to adjust the steering wheel so that the steering wheel is turned slightly to the left, just like these wheels are turned slightly to the left. So hopefully you can see now, maybe like this, you'll be able to see the steering wheel start to turn as I'm turning on that. So right now the steering wheel's turned slightly to the right, and I want to get it turned to the left. I should be able to just crank on this baby and it'll start turning. Of course the GoPro died, but all I had to do was twist this coupler, right? And you can see it turning the steering. And we got that wheel slightly to the left. So I'm hoping that's all that's really necessary, or at least it's pretty close, so it's not annoying. So I'm gonna just tighten it back up. Probably like that, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and tighten it back up like that, and then grease this baby. Hopefully the GoPro doesn't die on me again, but it's always a chance. Might have to get a new GoPro one of these days. I got a backup camera, but it's not the best. I prefer to have a higher quality camera for you guys. All right. Forget. Yeah. We don't want to break stuff, but we don't want it coming loose either. You know what I mean? There you go. That's probably the limit. So I'm gonna go ahead and grease these. Oh, I didn't tighten those Zert fittings. Alright. Don't have to go crazy on these babies, they just need to be kind of tight, you know? It's not a structural item. I don't know why they got two different head sizes. I don't know what games they're playing these days at the parts places, but I feel like it's working. Are we blowing out yet? Yeah, there we go. Ah, fuck. Why's everything gotta be a struggle? I didn't even tighten this, I just put it on there, you know? I don't think this one's even that adjustable. There we go. I see the boot starting to fill up a little bit. It's not blowing out anywhere yet. Put it in a somewhat neutral position. I'm going to go ahead and hit the one on the bottom. Okay, that was pretty full actually. So that's good. Get the one on the other side. Might as well get the rest. I got another tube of grease if I need it. Yeah, I need it. This baby's out. It's not very big tube. So let me change this real quick. Yeah, that's done. Oh shoot, it wasn't done. Well, it's done now. Just made a mess. Everything's got to be struggle. All right. That tube was difficult to get out of there. All right, this is what these little tubes look like. Gotta put a new one in. That was gonna be plenty of grease. However, I didn't know that it was full. Get in there. This thing is gonna be total faster to me. Well, not gonna be easy with it because last time this aluminum didn't want to come off too easy, so there we go. Don't worry, I'm gonna pick that grease up off the ground. I park my truck on top of that and I slide into the garage, you know what I mean? Probably not, but maybe. All right, let's try this again. Next time I won't believe it when there's an air pocket. I'll just give this thing a good pump in and see what happens. All right, got some grease in there. After all that work, it just took like 2 squirts, you know?
No grease is blowing out anywhere yet. Okay, get the bottom, and we can call this baby ready to test drive. Perfect. All right. Let's get this tire on. I'll scoop this up with the old vehicle registration card, you know what I mean? That worked out pretty well. Nice. Okay, give me a little bit of space here. That way I can do what I need to do. Size tire. Alright, you want to make sure you start them by hand, guys. So you got that Ingersoll Rand. She gets wild hair, she's gonna rip them studs to pieces. Trust me on that. So we want to get these threads started so we're not forcing a cross thread situation. We ain't the tire shop. We know what we're doing. Alright. Now let's give it a little tightening. That's it. Yeah.
All right, all that's left to do now is to take a break, eat lunch, then we'll take this baby for a test drive. Got her slightly to the left. That tire, this one is turned slightly to the left, if you can tell. This one's a little more obvious. It's turned a little bit to the left. So hopefully that baby's gonna be nice and tight going down the roads at highway speeds. If not, we can adjust it right there at the turnbuckles, so to speak. It's a coupler, I guess. But there you go, got the new parts. More new parts keep getting added to this truck, and it will keep getting added to it. I need to order a spare tire. I need to get a transfer case and a front drive shaft, and probably new hubs. Like, there's plenty of things to do. I'm thinking about getting an aftermarket AC system like they use on the 18-wheelers. Just go through the bed here and go through the cab with the lines. Let me know what you think about that. I'm gonna take a little break and then do a test drive. If everything's good, this is the last you'll hear from me. And if something breaks on the road, I'll record it for you. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.